Hello YouTubers. Okay, this is the third video in the series breeding Malawi cichlids. Right, we've already spoken about buying breeding pairs, trios, breeding groups, juveniles, etc. Getting them into breeding condition. So we're at a stage now where we've got them into breeding condition and they actually start breeding. There's one or two things you can do to encourage them to start breeding. That's monsoon emulation, which we've gone through before. Plenty of hiding places for the males to dig pits out. We don't want them killing each other, but have enough spots so that they can have one each to encourage females to breed with them. I always have a few areas where I have some flat stones that encourages the females to lay their eggs on and the males to fertilise the eggs or the spawning ritual. If I do have a bare tank without those flat areas, they do tend to pick up a lot of gravel rather than eggs, due to the nature that I have a thick gravelly coral sand, so that impedes them a little bit. So I like to have flat areas. So okay, so they're bred, eggs are fertilised. We all know now that these are mouth breeders. So then the next stage of the process is identifying holding females. Okay, so we come along one day, they've been breeding, and one of the females, a buccal cavity's dropped, so we know that it's bred and she's holding a mouthful of eggs. The next decision that the hobbyist has really got to decide on what to do is to let her spit naturally in the tank, so she'll have between 20 and 40 babies, spit them naturally, a lot get eaten along the way. Or you can strip the female of the eggs and put them into a tumbler, or something else that's got air movement just to keep the eggs circulating. Or you can do what I generally do, is to take the female out after about a fortnight and put her in a nursery tank. There she's allowed to spit naturally, and then we'll discuss what to do with her after that. So we've got a couple of females in here that are bred. I'm going to show you one of them up here. This is a Metroclima zebra, Thumbie West. Now just get it, she's just underneath that light, look, that you can see her buccal cavity is well dropped. She's mouth's moving from side to side. Now she's been pulled out now for just over 2 weeks, and you can see that underneath the chin she's getting dark, which tells me that the eggs are fertilised and they've started changing and turning into fry, so the egg yolk sac is getting smaller. Now what I like to do with the female there is leave her in until she spits, and then I'll take her out after a couple of days and leave the fry on their own, and then leave her for about a fortnight in a separate tank to build her weight up so she can go back into the main tank again. And I think that's far more beneficial than having a female spit in a tank like this and then have all the babies eaten, because they do get gobbled up quite easily. What you do need, if you do want to keep them in the tank and not have them spit or strip the females, is to have plenty of holes with little hidey places in where the young fry can get into. Now it's only a couple of weeks ago in this big tank here that I thought I'd isolated all the females, and when I did a complete clear out there were 4 small ones knocking around. Now that just happens. Now these are my babies I've got going at the moment. So what I'll do then, when I take the female away, I'll put them in a tank like that and then free that tank up again. Okay, there's some juveniles there just to show you. So that's the third stage in my breeding Malawi cichlids. It's not the final stage, obviously, because they've not grown to maturity yet. But that's a dilemma that most Malawi breeders face. They want to know how long the fish hold, how long do they take to spit, how many youngsters there are. There's a lot of questions. So I'd say as a rough guide, your average Malawi female will hold about 25 eggs, which will develop into fry. Should keep them for around about 3 to 4 weeks. I tend to try and encourage them to spit so that they don't get too weak. And I'd say after, if they've not spat naturally in about a month, then I will strip the youngsters from her and get her feeding naturally again, or she'll get too weak. Okay, that's it, that's series 4. Hope that's a bit of a help. Thank you to all my subs. Thank you for the hits, thank you for the comments, please keep them coming. Anybody got advice on what I've said today, please post them, we'll love to hear from you. See you tubers!